I wanted to ask you a question about where you go for guidance. When you first got here, you had Jim Caldwell briefly, and he was the veteran coach on your staff. And then he wasn't here. Chan Gailey had veteran coaching experience last season, can be used as a sounding board. Right now, when your team is 1-5, and obviously you've got so many issues, where do you go for a sounding board or veteran guidance?
I talked to, the guys on our coaching staff. So, first person that comes to mind is Danny Crossman. And then, our coordinators, George Godsey, Eric, Josh, and then our, the people on our sports staff, Caleb Thornhill, Drew Brooks, Kyle Johnston. It's really a team effort. I think, those are the people who have a good pulse of the team. And just trying to get a feel for where guys are at, how guys are feeling. And what I've gotten is, I think there's still a lot of belief in our team and the players on our team. I think they support each other. I think they're a resilient group. We're going through some struggles right now, but I think they're sticking together. We're going to continue to stick together and, try to prepare, practice well this week and have a better performance next week.
David Furones.
Hi, Brian. Different kind of question for you. Most of the time teams have a bye coming off the trip to London. Your team doesn't this year. Was that by team request to the league to have a later bye? And if so, could you break down the thought process behind it?
Yeah, we don't have a bye. And quite honestly, I think we want to get back out there, especially after, tough loss yesterday. We've had, let's call it West Coast trips. And obviously this was a lot longer than that, but when we've come back late, gotten in 2, 3, 4 a.m. in the morning, and then kind of turned it around over the next couple of days. And we're gonna have to do that again this week. We got a tough opponent coming in here, and we're gonna have to prepare and have a good week of practice. But yeah, the London trip took a little bit. I would say, it's a long flight back, 9 hours, and long flight out there, and time change, et cetera. So we're gonna have to get our rest the next couple of days, make sure we're getting hydrated, make sure we're eating the right things, make sure we're kind of getting ourselves back so we can, have a good week of practice.
David Lang.
Hey, Flo. It seemed yesterday's game was decided by 2 fourth-down plays, the 4th and 1 that you guys had, and then the 4th and 8 that they had. In looking at the tape, do you think it was more about some of the decisions you made for the plays, or do you think it was more an execution issue that both those plays didn't go your way?
It's a combination of both. When you rewatch it, there's always, hey, we could have done that, we could have done this. I have peace with the calls we made, both offensively and defensively. And those 4th downs you mentioned. In the moment, given, what we thought might happen, the players we wanted in there. So we came out of it feeling like, those are the right things to do. And you got to give credit to Jacksonville. They executed in those situations and we didn't. And, they always kind of go back and say, hey, man, well, maybe we should have done this, maybe we should have done that. But, in the moment, we just felt like we were putting our team in the best position in both instances.
Travis.
Hey, Coach, good afternoon. Just watching the game back, it looked like Tua did a pretty good job of mitigating some of the pressure and getting out of pressure within the pocket yesterday. Just wanted to get your take on his ability to kind of work around muddy pockets and when there is pressure, how you thought he did when watching the tape.
Yeah, I thought he did a real nice job yesterday. I thought he played well. I thought he threw the ball well. Obviously, he's playing with a little bit of discomfort. Made some nice throws, pushed it down the field. There's always things that throws you wish he would have made or could have had back. But I think overall he did a lot of things. And, I was pleased with the way he played.
Safid.
Flo, what's going on, man? How was the flight home for you guys? Was it, kind of quiet? Was everybody kind of try to catch up on some sleep? Were you having any conversations with some of the players, checking in with them, I guess?
Yeah, guys are disappointed. As in I was disappointed as well. But these guys put a lot into this, a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of preparation, a lot of practice time. So they were disappointed. So it was, it was a long flight. I think, some guys went to sleep. Some guys kind of were watching the tape, asking questions about what they could have done here, what they could have done there, what they can do to help this team. So there were a lot of conversations like that on the flight.
Adam?
Brian, I know a lot of the conversations you have are in confidence, but I was just wondering if broadly you could tell us the reaction Steve Ross has had to the season so far, and I guess yesterday in particular.
I mean, obviously he's disappointed. I don't want to speak for him, but I know that. He wants to, see our team have success. But that's really everybody. He's no different than the players, the coaches, the support staff, the fans. We've got to be better. I'll be the first to say that. Our players are they're disappointed as well. But what I know about our guys is we're going to pick ourselves up. We're going to come to practice on Wednesday. Try to improve, try to get better. Make the corrections we need to make. Look, we all know this. There's a very small margin for error in this league, very small. So the mistakes we've made, they've cost us. We have to try to limit those mistakes. That's players and coaches. And yeah, there's a slim margin for error, and we're on the wrong side of that right now. But we just need to continue to work. I trust their preparation. I trust the things that they're doing. The players, we're always gonna kind of reevaluate, and see if there's anything we can do better. But yeah, I think collectively, Steve, Tom, Chris, Brandon, the entire organization, there's disappointment, and they want better.
Josh?
Hey, Coach. And talking to a couple of guys yesterday, Mike Gesicki and Emmanuel, they were saying that you guys are so close. What do you go from so close to getting there?
I think it's work, Josh. I think they're right. I think there's a handful of things in every game where ball bounces this way, ball bounces another way. We get a call, we don't get a call. We make a call, we make a play, we make a tackle, we make a block. We spring somebody. And it's a different ball game. And that's what I mean by, and they understand this. There's a very slim margin for error here in this league. That's for all teams. That's the beauty of this league, and we understand that. We've got to do a better job. I've got to do a better job of limiting the errors that are showing up that are ultimately costing us. So, penalties, pre-snap penalties. There's things that spacing in the pass game. Some things defensively from a run fit standpoint. There's just very little things that are the difference between, a guy getting 3 yards and a guy getting 6 yards. And we got to be better in all those instances, all those situations.
Hal?
You had a long list of players who weren't able to play yesterday. I'm wondering, were there any guys who were close to playing and looking very, very positive for this Sunday? Or for that matter, are there any guys who might wind up on IR who missed yesterday's game?
I don't think anybody, I don't want to speak out of turn, but, X Byron, Shaheen,
Preston, Devontae.
Preston, Devontae. Don't see any of those guys going on IR. But we're day to day with all those guys. I think to see how it goes in practice. See if we can get them to practice even on a limited basis. Although some of those guys practice. Byron practiced last week. Preston practiced a little bit last week. X did not. Devontae did not. Shaheen practiced. I think the guys who practiced are probably a little bit closer than the guys who didn't. But obviously we'll know more. They got today, tomorrow to treat and rehab, and we'll just take it one day at a time.
Given the length of this losing streak, are you as a head coach having to fight frustration or anything along those lines?
I think there's always frustration, when you're dealing with adversity. That's just, they kind of go hand in hand. But I think as an organization, as a building, I think it's a very supportive group. I think players support players, coaches support players, players support coaches, support staff supports really everyone. So while we're all frustrated that we're not getting the results we want, I think everyone kind of believes in what we're doing, believes in our process. We need to do things just a little bit better, really, in all areas. And if we do that, I think we're all confident that things will turn.
Cam?
Flo, what's up, man? I was listening to some of your comments here, and I think there was common threads about mistakes and figuring out how to minimize those. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think early in the first couple of years, you guys were really minimizing those mistakes.
Yeah,
I'm curious why you feel like maybe you guys have taken a step back in the mistake and maybe discipline perspective of the game.
Every year is different, so it's hard to say one year to the next. There's always different players, different teams. You're dealing with different circumstances. We harp on all those little things, all those things, and those that I mentioned earlier. And we've been those are always points of emphasis. Every game's a little different, so I think it's dependent on some of the things we're seeing, players we're seeing, some of the things we're seeing schematically, and then at the end of the day, there are definitely instances where we know what to do, but there's a mental error or somebody goes down and we got somebody in there who didn't practice it. I mean, there's look, I'm not going to sit here and make excuses like that. I'm not going to do that either. But we're making a lot of mistakes and we need to clean them up.
D. Orlando Ledbetter, Atlanta Journal-Constitution.
Yeah, Coach. Having practice with the Falcons against them in training camp, will that be some benefit this week as you all try to get ready for the game on Sunday?
I think the one benefit is, and really for both teams, we'll have familiarity with their players. But I'm sure Arthur didn't show all his cards and we didn't show all ours, and they got a tough competitive team, and we know it'll be a tough game. So but as far as them coming down here and practicing, I thought both teams got a lot out of that, and
thank you.
I think it'll be a competitive game.
Cam?
When you go through a stretch like this, I think 5 straight, how do you balance maybe feeling like you as a coach may have to make a statement versus counting on your player leadership to, say something to try to change this?
I think this is a team effort. Players, coaches, we're all in this together. Obviously, I have my thoughts and my message that, I give to the team. And then, the leaders on our team, whether it's, Elandon Roberts or Jesse Davis or Mac Hollins or, whoever it may be. I think they have their own message. I think the coaching message is one, but the player message and that's a different thing. But it's all encompassing, and we all kind of work together.
Marcel?
Hey, Brian, wondering now that you've reviewed the tape, what did you see out of Noah's play yesterday in that spot start?
I thought Noah, he did some good things. I thought he tackled, efficiently. Obviously, he had the 2 balls caught on him. I thought he was in good position on both of them. We just talked about, going up and, just being more kind of aggressive to try to get it out of them. But I think, Jones made a couple good plays on him. But overall, I thought he did some good things and, filled in competitively.
Was it the type of performance you'd expect out of him, considering, how much he's been able to kind of sit on the sideline and take the game in a different perspective and learn while he's inactive?
We got confidence in Noah. We put him in there, and again, he did some good things. That's what I expected. I expected him to play competitively and tackle well and know where he's supposed to be, communicate well. Obviously, like we all saw, there was a couple balls that were down the field, and I think he had a chance to make a couple plays on them, and I think that's the next step for him to go up and get a couple of those out.
Got it. Thanks, Brian.
All right, last question, Cam.
Hey, Flo. I know you talked a little bit about that 4th and 1 with Malcolm earlier and liking what you saw there, but a lot of times you'll see coaches put the ball in their quarterback's hands in those 4th quarter situations. I'm curious how much you thought about maybe letting Tua get that, and why wasn't that the answer there?
We thought about that. We just felt like, we had some success with Malcolm in that instance, and felt good about the play. And look, you got to give Atlanta credit. They made a good play there, and we didn't get it done.